Why couldn't you just be a fireman or a lawyer? Why? You ruined my life, Dad.
Not everyone gets B2B, but LinkedIn has the people who do. And with ads on LinkedIn, you'll be able to reach people based on job title, industry, likelihood to buy, and more. Start converting your B2B audience into high-quality leads today. We'll even give you a $100 credit on your next ad campaign. Go to linkedin.com/credit to claim your credit. That's linkedin.com/credit. Terms and conditions apply. LinkedIn, the place to be. To be.
Attention parents. Watch your child go from ABCs to confident readers in just 30 days with Hooked on Phonics. It only takes 15 minutes a day to unlock the most important life skill for their future, reading. We transform kids no matter their starting point with fun lessons, catchy songs, and guaranteed results. One grade level jump or your money back. Right now, get free access to Hooked on Math and Spelling apps plus your first month for just $1. Visit hookedonphonics.com today and unleash your child's reading potential.
In today's Marketers Report, Kate Cronin, Chief Brand Officer of Moderna, weighs in on the speed of audio production.
In this day and age, and particularly at Moderna, where we have new information coming out on a regular basis, being able to feed that information to the audio format makes being nimble and pivoting easy, and that's what I really like about it.
As the #1 audio company, iHeartMedia gives marketers access to the audiences, influencers, insights, and data you need to grow. If you're a marketer, go to iHeartResults.com.
No matter who you are or what you do, there's a Ford vehicle that can help you own the day. Make life on the go feel like a breeze in the new Ford Explorer. Make tough tasks look easy with the powerful performance of a new built Ford Tough F-Series truck, the best-selling trucks in America for 48 years. Or take your adventures in the great outdoors to a whole new level with our built wild family of Ford Broncos. Whether it's for work or play, there's a Ford with a great deal waiting for you at your local Northland Ford dealers. Don't wait, get behind the wheel of a new Ford today, based on calendar year total sales.
It's a new year, and you have the chance to focus on you. Take the opportunity to treat yourself to something amazing and come into Macy's this weekend for great deals on wardrobe superstars like 20 to 30% off Karl Lagerfeld, Levi's, Tommy Hilfiger, and more. While you're at it, get back into a healthy routine with new gear from Nike, Adidas, and Under Armour. And your New Year's resolutions? Oh, you have plenty of time to figure them out. But these deals are going on now at Macy's. Savings off already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.
8:16 at K-Fire 515, Todd Mitchell and Guns and the 701. Happy New Year plus a couple of days. How are you, Clay?
I'm pretty good. Happy New Year to you and everybody. It's great to be in 2025. We got big things coming.
Woohoo! I hope so.
Starting January 20th.
Yeah, because whichever side of the aisle you're on, eyes are going to be watching. Okay, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? What's going to happen? Either side of the aisle, right?
Well, yeah, and that big vote coming today, too. I mean, they're going to be voting on Speaker of the House, so that'll be interesting.
How do you think that's going to end up going?
Oh, I think it'll be multiple votes, but I imagine Johnson will prevail in this one.
Yeah. But, hey, drag it out.
Not my favorite choice.
Drag it out but, so C-SPAN has better ratings because, you know.
There you go. There you go. You know, I wouldn't want to be the Speaker. I tell you what, that guy, whoever holds that seat, I'm telling you, they got a tough job, especially when you got the thin margins you see in Congress. So, yeah, I wouldn't want that position.
I would think the Minnesota Vikings have taught us a thing or two about programming these things. Make sure you drag it all out until the very end. Don't make it over with at the beginning because then nobody's around by the end. Drag it out to the very end. Give everybody a heart attack and then conclude with a win. But
there you go.
But there you go.
Yeah.
So I was reading the fight against reciprocity not going well. Don't we have a Second Amendment across the whole country?
Well, yeah, that's the intent of the Second Amendment, that it, applies everywhere. Another reason we should also have constitutional carry U.S.-wide, but that's a whole nother subject. But I found this one, and I want to talk about this anyway here about a month ago when our Supreme Court in North Dakota basically pounded down Fargo, and Fargo's full of anti-gun issues, always has been. Even when I was NRA rep, I dealt with their sheriff at the time there with some things he was trying, and we prevailed, but it's always just a victory battle. It's never a victory in the war over there, it seems like. But Fargo And this was I don't know if anyone remembers, in 2023 when House Bill 1340 passed and was signed. It was a great bill. It strengthened the preemption law. If anybody's not familiar with that, preemption law says that, just like most states that are free, I call them, they say that the Second Amendment is a complete and 100% right of the United States citizen. Okay? Therefore, cities can't infringe on that. And Bruin made that even stronger. We saw that. We saw the Chevron deference. A lot of things over 2024 happened that even strengthened this. But Fargo decided, nope, we know better. We should have local control. Of course, they only want local control when it's to their advantage. And we should be able to make our own anti-gun laws. And what they did was they basically passed an ordinance that said, if you live in a residential area, you can't deal guns. So what do you think is the issue with that, Todd?
Seems to be our founding fathers wanted us to, be able to defend ourselves, right?
Yeah, I look at this and it probably sounds right now. Some of the people are probably going, "That sounds like a great idea, right? We shouldn't have gun shops in retail area or in a residential area." So it's not what they're talking about. If you want to have an FFL, which is a federal firearms license, which is required to engage in the sale of, as they call them, destructive items or destructive devices, which is firearms, you have to possess an FFL. You have to do the NICS background checks. You have to do all these things just like a gun store. And it was just basically another thing that was being passed by a liberal city council or commission, whatever they got over there, to essentially get rid of another legal entity in their city. You can have an FFL. You can run it out of the basement of your house. You still have to follow all the rules. There was nothing sinister going on here. There was no danger to the public. And that's what they kept trying to push in this. And they finally filed suit and went to the state Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court said, yeah, you're right. That sole discretion is left to the state to actually uphold the United States Constitution, and struck it down. So I don't know what's going to happen from this. I don't know how much farther. I don't think you can appeal it, or they won't appeal. It'd be too expensive. I mean, you can go above and beyond the state Supreme Court into the federal system, but I don't think you're going to see that happen. And not only that, so I don't know if anyone's aware of this. I don't know for sure Bismarck has it, but Mandan has some strange rules on this too, about you building and having basically a business on your lot in a residential area, especially a firearms business. And it'll be interesting to see now if the people that have been trying and the people that exist already in Mandan, and I know a few of them that have an FFL, it's not their main business. They actually have other jobs. This is a side business, and it'll be interesting to see how this is applied, because the Supreme Court of North Dakota just said you have the right, essentially, to have a business, even though this happened to deal with firearms on the Second Amendment, so you especially have that one. But I think it's going to be taken farther myself.
Guns of the 701 here at K-Fire 822. It's Clay. I'm Todd Mitchell. So New Orleans got a little interesting being in the news for an unfortunate reason. And what's my motto basically been? You don't necessarily need a gun, so don't get mad at guns. And now we just proved it with a couple of other weaponry. But New Orleans had kind of an interesting buyback program, and yet that didn't even work.
Yeah, and that's kind of why I threw this one out there today. I didn't realize they did a buyback the day before this happened. So I suppose they were trying to make it a whole New Year's thing, end of the year. We're going to have a buyback, which they don't work anyway. And they did a buyback which is a stupid term, because you can't buy back something you never owned anyway. But, government, they don't care. But they did this buyback program, and it didn't go very good. It failed just like it did. They received 32 revolvers, or dismantled revolvers, shotguns, or semi-automatic firearms. The city collected 94 guns through this over the last 6 months. So think about that. They did another one the very last day of the year, and they were giving, it sounded like, PlayStation 5s in exchange. So they go ahead and said, we're going to give gaming systems where you can get games and, randomly shoot people for fun as a game.
Right, you can do fake shoot people instead of real shooting people. I mean, okay, there have been worse programs out there, but it's still not going to solve the real problem.
No, and I'm sure look at it this way. Usually there's no questions asked. It's a great way for a criminal to get rid of a really bad gun. And how everyone remembers.
This one doesn't work anyway. What do I care if they have it?
Or they used it in a felony crime, and they say, you know what, we'll just go turn it into the police without getting caught. We'll get something in return. And we saw that. We saw that across the United States in Chicago, New York, L.A. have done that, and they have recovered firearms. Not the right ones, though. I mean, they're ones that were used in crimes, and they have no clue who gave them because there was no questions asked.
This is what happens when you build a city below sea level right next to the sea,
Yeah, and
hate to say, but
let's just say it just proves the point that bad people will do bad things if their intent is strong enough. This guy, I think it's funny, he used an electric vehicle too. But anyway, he basically took his F-150 electric vehicle, crossed the Mexican border with it that had Texas plates at one of the most porous points on our border, which is Eagle Pass, and that's a whole nother story there too. And came into the country, drove to Louisiana, and carried out this terrorist attack is what they're calling it, and probably rightfully so. Whether the guy's illegal or not, I haven't been able to even get that information. The guy that was with him was definitely illegal from Chile. So that, it tells you what a porous, like I said, I keep saying it's a porous border.
Well, how many million did we let in? I mean, we really don't know, right? They just sort of kept pouring in, and how much fentanyl and whatnot was with each one on rolling average. Obviously, some came in with nothing, but for everyone that came in with nothing, somebody else came in with plenty. So,
you can't have a free state. You can't have an actual country with no borders. It don't work, and that's been proven horrendously here in the last year. The last year's probably been the worst, but the last 4 have been horrible. Everything was rescinded. The amount of illegal guns, drugs, you name it, illegal people, it's been a steady stream coming in our country, and we're starting to see it show up everywhere. And this is a great example. I mean, and it wasn't just New Orleans. We had a problem over in Las Vegas, too. I think that was a clear message. They rented their vehicles from this same online. It's like an online sharing rental service. You can
Turo, which means you're not. It's not like we all rented from Enterprise or whatever. I mean, it's obscure enough that there could very well be a connection there.
Well, it could be. They say there's not, but I don't believe anything the FBI says. I mean, the kind of the person in charge, the way it sounds like, that was in charge of the New Orleans Police Department at one time got fired. Went to work for the FBI and decided that they were going to hire this person as their DEI head, and that's where that person went. She went to work for the FBI as their DEI.
Don't even start me on that irony, but anyway.
Yeah. But anyway, this was horrible. It shows you that it doesn't take a gun. Although the guy had a gun, he did what Shamaz Din Jabbar, I believe was his name, and he converted to Islam the way it sounds at a young age. But the worst part about both these two people that did these things, they both were in our military, active duty, and one was on leave. And this is even a bigger problem. Can you imagine I wonder how many of these people, because of DEI hires and the things that were happening in our military structure, how many more exist?
Well, that's been my question all along in this too. Are there quotas? Do they have to hit them, and do they just lower the bar until the quota is met? And I'm not saying that's what's going on. I don't know what's going on, but this is a horrible, horrible optic right now.
Horrible, very bad. And, I think we all have hopes that as Trump comes in on January 20th with his people, we're hoping a lot of this gets fixed and gets kicked out of our military. Our military's got one purpose: protect this country and its people from all adversaries, foreign and domestic. I mean, that is the purpose of the military: protect this country. And we got to have a strong military that's on mission to actually do that job. And we don't have that right now. I mean, there's lots of great men and women in our military, don't get me wrong, but right now at the head, take the head off the snake and usually everything goes away. Right now, the head of the military, them people are not doing their job. It's very clear. And we gotta have the right people in there. We can't have our military veterans going around, being involved in terrorist attacks. I mean, that, like I said,
should never have gotten in that far. If that's what they are, those are the people we should be weeding out early on.
Absolutely.
And putting in Gitmo or something. I mean,
absolutely. So
yeah,
horrible things, bad way to start the year out, but I think it's at least it brought to the light the problems we have everywhere. And it isn't guns. By the way, that guy had a gun and fired at people, but in New Orleans, but the police did take him down, and he has assumed room temperature, and that's fine.
should be thankful he used a Tesla Cybertruck instead of just a regular F-150 or Ram or something, because the damage might have been a lot worse at that Trump
jokes
hotel.
on that guy. It's built so good that it contained the explosion.
Exactly. I don't think people quite realize just how different it would have been in just a regular stock F-150 or Ram or whatever.
They would have been
Tundra or whatever.
It would have probably blown the whole front of that motel out.
That's just it. Yeah. I don't think people quite realize, hey, wait a minute, this could have been a lot worse than that. 8:30 at K-Fire. Clay, I'm Todd Mitchell, Guns of the 701. We got more coming up.
K-Fire 550.
Friday edition, Clay Travis, Buck Sexton Show. We'll take you into the weekend as part of the new year and get you set for the new Congress being sworn in. That is a positive sign. The drama of who Speaker of the House will be, the end, effectively, of Joe Biden's power in Washington, D.C. We will all celebrate January 3rd, new Congress sworn in, while we are talking to all of you on Clay and Buck.
This morning at 11 on K-Fire.
It's Mitchell in the Morning, K-Fire 550.
Data to provide more accurate crop insurance coverage is what we're talking about next on the Dakota Farm and Ranch Report.
Simplot Grower Solutions is a full-service agronomy retail store with locations in Napoleon and Wishick. We provide ag application services in spraying and fertilizer spreading. Simplot Grower Solutions has 4 crop advisors to help with all your agricultural needs. Simplot offers seed, crop care, crop nutrition, and fertilizer. Call today or check out our website, simplotgrowersolutions.com. Simplot Grower Solutions. We are committed to your success over the long run because we know that farming is more than your job. It's your legacy.
K-Fire.
With the Dakota Farm and Ranch Report, I'm Scott Bachmeyer. Crop insurance is a valuable tool for farms all across the country. However, imprecise data collection and record keeping can limit what the producer can get for their coverage. Nick Lewitt is a precision ag specialist with Rural Community Insurance Services, and he says that accurate data can allow a farmer to get more from their coverage each and every year.
Climate Field View is one of our partners, and so is the John Deere Operations Center. That can really streamline that process from you as a grower to your agent. What we're going to be able to utilize is use those acres that you actually plant from your machine into our system for crop insurance purposes. We do take all the overlapping out rows for you. So let's say you drill soybeans in your neck of the woods. You may have some overlapping rows, but we'll get it to the correct number of what takes place. The benefit for you as a grower for that is, traditionally you might have used a 578 documentation to do your crop insurance. So it may have a field at 80 acres, but really you're planting 76, 75 acres. We can use that 76, 75 acres that you have for crop insurance reporting.
Lewitt says that farmers do not need to perform any additional work to make sure that their farms have the coverage they need. Farmers can use the data that they already have captured.
Yeah, it's already data they collected, just making more use of that, kind of how those lay out, and being able to make sure that you're adequately insured for what you actually plant. It could be even more than what you traditionally planted. Maybe you had a field that your map shows it's 82 acres versus you had 80 before. Well, we can insure you and pay you for 82 acres if you had a total wipeout, right?
He says that over the past decade, the flow of information has streamlined to make it easier to record and keep crop insurance data and reduce the paperwork needed.
I would say I've been in crop insurance and precision ag since 2011, and so since that time, over those times, I've really seen it. So it used to be always on a flash drive or an SD card or a USB, and you're always trying to take them from one to the other. Now with the more automated systems where it's more automated, it makes it a little bit easier. You've also seen some systems out there that now self-calibrate in the marketplace to make that calibration a little bit easier for the grower as well.
With the Dakota Farm and Ranch Report, I'm Scott Bachmeyer.
You wake up every morning taking pride in what you do. It's the Agri International with so much here for you. You know how you make your living. On this life you depend. From sun up to sundown, you call this land your friend. K-Fire Agri International. We're here to keep it all growing.
K-Fire, your ag authority.
2025 is here, and so is the new and improved free iHeartRadio app. It's everything you love about radio in the palm of your hands. The live radio dial, presets, scan, even lyrics. And iHeartRadio has all of your favorite artists, playlists, and podcasts too. Anytime, anywhere. Kick off the new year with the new and improved free iHeartRadio app. Get it today.
The holidays with Stella Rosa brandy. Indulge in the rich flavor of smooth black, perfect for sipping neats, or mix up some holiday cheer with the delicious butter toffee in your cocktails. These flavors make for an unforgettable season. Must be 21 plus.
Located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Give them a call at 701-258-6308.
The team of mechanics at Lauer Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with Lauer, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro Second Amendment America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake. Lauer Auto is your pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at Lauer Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our pro Second Amendment, pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's Lauer Auto Repair, 701-258-6308.
701-258-6308.
Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Experience the exhilaration of power in your hands at Bloodline Kinetics. Why Cerakote? Simply, it aids in firearm preservation while also giving your piece a unique look. Barrel threading, NFA laser engraving, bolt handle threading, mount, level, and bore, sight scope chamber rebarreling, and much more. Bloodline Kinetics is meant to reflect a long American lineage in gun ownership, who stand for the Second Amendment rights, Bloodline, and the science behind gun accuracy. Kinetics. To some, it's just a constitutional right that can go away. To us, it's in our American bloodline, and we believe it should stay that way. Here at Bloodline Kinetics, we understand that hunters, sportsmen, women, and gun owners should have a quality firearm. Stop and see us at 2008 Morrison Avenue 2 in Bismarck, North Dakota, 58504, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Call 701-390-7997. Visit our website, bloodlinekinetics.com.
Anvil Brand LLC, raising and training tomorrow's barrel horses right out of Bismarck, North Dakota. Tracy and her family are great American patriots who not only support the Second Amendment, but they also promoted what you're looking for, top quality barrel horses. Go ahead and give Tracy a call at 701-471-6629 and tell them Guns and 701.com sent you. That's Anvil Brand LLC out of Bismarck, North Dakota.
Like Michael, the flow like Aubrey. Walk around thinking I'm a prince like Saudi. Mismatched Converse, t-shirts tucked in. Know my worth, can't tell me nothing. White Nikes, albino, pink.
Looking for the best gun gear for every and any situation? Little Angry Man Arms LLC has you covered. Top-notch guns from top-name brands like Winchester, Glock, Sig Sauer, and Ruger to essential extras from Magpul's, Streamlight, Hollow, Sun Optics, and more. Little Angry Man Arms LLC have everything to make your shooting adventures a success. Visit littleangrymanarms.com today and gear up for your next big hunt, competition, or home defense. Don't miss out on our exclusive deals. Little Angry Man Arms LLC, based in Trail City, South Dakota, your ultimate hunting partner.
ND program. Caregivers are adult family members such as grandparents, aunts, and uncles who provide full-time care for children that cannot stay in their parents' home. Over 1,300 children in North Dakota are being provided for by Kinship Care. A Bismarck man getting life for murdering someone over meth. Timothy Two Horses found guilty of murdering Ernest Ells in Bismarck last April. Two Horses got in a fight with Ells over methamphetamine, stabbed him in the chest. He then took gold from his house and other items before fleeing. He was later found at a Bismarck hotel Ohio, where he fought with police as he was being arrested. Yesterday, a Bismarck judge sentenced him to life in prison with the possibility of parole. Timothy Two Horses will be eligible for parole in 43 years. A man recovering after being injured by fireworks early New Year's Day. West Fargo police say a 21-year-old man suffered a traumatic injury to his hand caused by improper use of a firework. He was taken to a hospital with severe but non-life-threatening injuries. And a fireworks records New Year's Eve in Mott is now certified. Pegasus Illuminations launched a dozen 16-inch mortar shells simultaneously to set a world record. Organizers say around 5,000 people were there to witness the pyrotechnic milestone. The record certified by the World Record Academy. A chilly start to the day. And for those in southwestern and parts of south central North Dakota, a snowy weekend around the corner. Your K-Fire AccuWeather forecast is coming up.
Who's ready for the ultimate New Orleans adventure? It's the
Attention farmers and ranchers, don't miss the 48th annual K-Fire Agri International Expo, February 11th and 12th at the Bismarck Event Center. See the latest in farm and ranch equipment and services, along with free seminars each day. Register for thousands of dollars in prizes, view the farm toy show, or have a cold one in the beer garden. It's all happening at the 47th annual K-Fire Agri International Expo, February 11th and 12th at the Bismarck Event Center, sponsored by Farm Credit Services of Mandan, Seafoam, and Runnings.
Make your holiday celebration shine with Stella Rosa Brandy. Whether you're relaxing by the fire or hosting a festive party, our smooth black and butter toffee brandies are the perfect holiday sips. Enjoy them neat, on the rocks, or mix them into your favorite seasonal cocktails. Rich, bold, and full of holiday spirit, these brandies add a touch of warmth to every celebration. Celebrate the season with Stella Rosa Brandy. Must be 21 plus to celebrate.
Finally.
Presets? Love it.
Just like my car.
The new and improved iHeartRadio app is finally here with new features like presets, a live radio dial, scan, and more.
This is a great update.
Don't wait. Open the free, new, and improved iHeartRadio app now.
Here's your AccuWeather forecast. Clouds and cold, a high today at 7. Partly to mostly cloudy, very cold night tonight with the low at 8 below 0. A cloudy, cold day tomorrow, the high 6. And then clouds with the low tomorrow night at 3 below 0. Sunday, some morning snow, little or no accumulation. Otherwise, clouds and very cold, the high Sunday at 9. Plan with confidence. Check out AccuWeather.com today and download the free app. With your AccuWeather forecast, I'm Steve Williams.
840 in Bismarck at the moment, 2 below northwest, wind at 6. 840, guns of the 701, more coming up.
Attention farmers and ranchers, don't miss the 48th annual K-Fire Agri International Expo, February 11th and 12th at the Bismarck Event Center. See the latest in farm and ranch equipment and services, along with free seminars each day. Register for thousands of dollars in prizes, view the farm toy show, or have a cold one in the beer garden. It's all happening at the 47th annual K-Fire Agri International Expo, February 11th and 12th at the Bismarck Event Center, sponsored by Farm Credit Services of Mandan, Seafoam, and Runnings.
Have you ever spotted McDonald's hot, crispy fries right as they're being scooped into the carton? And time just stands still. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Vaporize your cold with DayQuil VapoCool. It's DayQuil plus a rush of Vicks Vapors.
Whoa.
DayQuil VapoCool, the vaporizing daytime coughing, aching, fever power through your day. Medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
We get it. Credit cards aren't one size fits all. When you're building credit or just trying to manage expenses, you need straightforward service. No hidden fees, no unnecessary frills. That's where we come in. We're Premier Bank Card. Tap the banner to learn more.
On January 10th, you're gonna rob that place. Now I'm gonna do it with you.
When the top goes gangster.
Get your tickets.
It's not about the money, it's about the challenge.
To the best heist movie in years.
You feeling it? I'm feeling it.
Den of Thieves 2, rated R. Only in theaters January 10th.
Finally.
Presets? Love it.
Just like my car.
The new and improved iHeartRadio app is finally here with new features like presets, a live radio dial, scan, and more.
This is a great update.
Don't wait. Open the free, new, and improved iHeartRadio app now.
$843 K-Fire Clay is here. It's Guns in the 701. Expect to be shot. Now, I got to admit, when I was a kid back in the 1700s, Or 1970s, sorry.
There you go. Oh my
I
goodness.
did that on purpose. That was kind of the thing. If you broke into somebody's home, you really, you had that coming, and you were lucky if it didn't happen, which is part of the reason I never broke into a home. The other part is as poorly behaved as I can be, I was never that poorly behaved, so I have respect for people trying to, respect other people's stuff. But I guess that's the kind of thing that in this day and age, depending on where you are, can be a little taboo. Try that trick in the Twin Cities or whatever.
Yeah, well, and look what's happening. Again, we were just talking about illegal aliens coming into our country, and here we go. Down in Florida, they're having the same problem as, let's just face it, all 50 states are a border state anymore. They truly are. The illegals have just inundated.
North Dakota's more of a border state than Nebraska.
Yeah.
I mean, you would have thought if they're coming from the south northward, then, Nebraska, South Dakota, those would be the, in the line of fire before us. But no, because Canada. Is Canada, by the way, going to become our 51st state?
I hope not. We don't need
I can't even see that happening.
No. I mean, Trudeau is done, though.
I mean,
I'm pretty sure.
Well, he's done, yeah, no question. And I'm sure a more conservative, friendly government is going to be voted in there, whether Montreal likes it or not. But at the same time, I can't. Could you imagine?
I wouldn't support that. I mean,
no, I don't think they would either. And frankly, I don't think most of our government would really actually support that. But it's cute. No. But it's cute for memes and stuff. But some people think it's a real thing, and I just think, well, it may be attempted to be a real thing by some people. It's not going to fly on either side of the border. So.
No. And talk about a country with failed gun policy. Just look at Canada. No. I mean, what we're going to talk about, but I'm telling you, Canada has some of the biggest fails I've ever seen when it comes to gun control and registration. And it's kind of a good window as to see what would happen here. We're even more defiant, and we have a Second Amendment. If they ever did try to pass a national ban or a national restriction where it almost bans every single gun, and by the way, it's been introduced several times in our Congress, this doesn't get any traction, but I see the same thing happening here. Our people would say, BS, I'll just become a criminal then, I guess, overnight with the stroke of a pen, and we saw that with the bump stocks. Nobody turned them in. It was like less than 10% of all bump stocks that they knew about. They figured they didn't even have real numbers, but that's what they estimated it at. Nobody turned them in. And now guess what? Supreme Court overruled it. It's now legal to have them again, and it accomplished nothing. So there you go.
Oh, Lord.
Anyway, Florida. Yeah, I kind of like this guy.
Yeah.
Manatee County Sheriff Rick Wells. This is how a county sheriff should be. This is how he should defend his people. And these are the things they should be saying. And I know Stark County's got a great one. There's a few of them in our state, but trust me, they're not the majority. We do not have a majority of constitutional sheriffs in either North or South Dakota. I can assure you that. I've talked with a bunch of them, and I'm telling you, they're not on the same wavelength as most of us who are constitutionalists. Anyway, Manatee County Sheriff Rick Wells, he basically had to make a statement about a recent home invasion. It involved an illegal, by the way. Flores Toledo and then Sotomela. I don't know. You know me and names. They ain't American names. I don't do well. Anyway, we got this guy. They went in and they went into a homeowner's house. The homeowner grabbed his gun, told his wife to get into a safe spot. I liked how the article actually pointed out that they must have had a plan anyway if something like this happened. And it really does bring up your situational awareness. Be aware of your surroundings and what's happening around you. Don't bury your face in a phone. It might cost you your life in some of these places. But they went in there. They tried to do it. They tried to break in and do some things. They were warned, and the homeowner shot him. And one guy fled. The other one, he tried, but he was rushed to a hospital where he assumed room temperature, which was fine. You want to come in and threaten someone. But the best part is the Florida sheriff got up there and he goes, well, this is the state of Florida. And if you want to break into someone's home, you should expect to be shot.
Doesn't castle doctrine mean anything anymore?
Well, you would think. We had a right or a duty to retreat in North Dakota till the last session when we went ahead and strengthened our basically castle doctrine in North Dakota. So, Florida's had a long time. Texas has it, and people down there, they don't make any qualms about exercising it in Texas. We have a lot of happy ending of the week and armed defense stories out of there. And you know what? Good for these people that they had the tools. Evidently, he knew his situational awareness, and he was able to defend himself, his family, and his property with lethal force, because that could have went very, very bad. It really could have. And Flores was from Mexico. The other guy was an illegal from Chile. So again, here we have people that came from across the border in South America, don't probably belong here and committing crimes, although there's one thing. We have a Second Amendment. We probably have the most armed citizenry in the world, I would say, as far as per capita, and they weren't used to that. You get out of these other countries, Mexico, Chile, they don't have a concentration of firearms in private hands like we do. And they found out, they messed around and found out. We'll just put it that way. And now we have a happy ending, too.
We can't say the words, but we can say FAFO.
Yeah.
My friend Tom says we should just give Minnesota to Canada and call it a day.
Yeah.
Well, we got the Canadians to sing the anthem at least one time, so every hockey game, for crying out loud. It's not a big deal.
I'm not a big sports fan, but I loved going to hockey games. Them 2 summers and the time I spent out in Minnesota, that's when I was in North Stars. It's been a while, but I'm telling you, I enjoyed
North Stars. Holy cow, are you old?
Oh, yeah. Half-century mark,
I remember the North Stars and Al Shaver on the radio, and those were the days, man. Those were the days. But,
yeah. Well, that's...
put a Minnesota hockey team in Dallas because they can support it better. What?
Yeah, that made no sense.
What the heck is wrong with this picture? But there we have it.
And by the way, that's where part of the Mega Mall complex went, was around where their arena was.
Well, I put the picture up the other day, 1956, and they built Met Stadium at the time in the middle of farm fields.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like, why did you guys build a stadium so far out of town? And of course now, hardly.
It grew around it, yeah.
And if you know that area, that was back when you took 34th Avenue to get to the airport, not the other side of it like you do now. But those were the days. 851 at K-Fire's Guns to the 701 in Clays here. Self-defense shooting in an Amazon facility ends in death and no charges expected. What the heck happened?
Yeah, down in Indiana, it sounded like a couple employees at Amazon at their warehouse in Greenfield kind of had an altercation. The one guy actually, in his defense, tried to de-escalate the situation. I think it's interesting because Amazon itself as a corporation does not support the Second Amendment whatsoever. In fact, they go out of their way to support causes that would take away your Second Amendment. But it doesn't seem to bother these people in Indiana. The guy actually went out into this parking lot. This other person went ahead, and his name was Riley. He decided he was going to follow him out, wasn't happy. I don't know exact details, even when I was trying to look it up, but he threatened physical harm to this unidentified. And, he had a legal firearm. He was able to have a firearm. And when he felt that he was being threatened enough that it was threatening his life, he fired at Riley, and when he made aggressive moves, the way it sounded, and took care of the problem. It's too bad that we have these things, but it's a good thing that we have the means to protect ourselves. I mean, that's the way I look at it.
Exactly. That was kind of the whole intent. It wasn't to be aggressors, but it was to be able to make sure you don't get aggressed, I guess, to quote my own word.
Self-preservation.
Yeah.
I mean, and of course, and it's in self-defense, not just people. Remember, our founding fathers, they faced oppression big time. They were mad about a small tax compared to what we pay today. And they knew that governments, because they came from a tyrannical government, and that's what it was, they never wanted to deal with it again, and they wanted to give us the means to be able to deal with that. And it still holds true today. It just does. And yeah, it's all about self-defense, whether it's from an individual, an entity, a group. I mean, it is about self-defense. It just, plain and simple, those 27 words are about our own self-defense. And I'm glad we live in a country that has that enshrined as the second, not the 10th, not the 20th, not the 27th. It's the Second Amendment after the first with freedom of religion, speech, press, and assembly, and petition. So
I think we take some of that for granted sometimes, and maybe people here need to spend more time in more oppressed countries so they can come back and go, oh thank God I'm in America again.
Absolutely.
So, I don't think they get
guys,
that.
Everything will drop. We'll get her on iHeart. You want to also tune in on iHeart there. We got Jamie's episode from last night. I was lazy. I took the 2 weeks off, New Year's and Christmas. So. But Jamie did one last night. 701 Nation, go catch that. It was a pretty good episode. And then, of course, we'll both be on with Mr. Michael Bell with Dakota Mornings next Monday. And I'm not sure. It kind of depends on the weather, Todd, whether I'm coming up and going in studio. They're not forecasting nice stuff in my area for the weekend.
I saw that.
Have to see, but one way or other, I'll be joining them guys, and we want to thank Michael again for having us on. We enjoyed doing that.
Well, I hope you thank me on his show, too, then.
Well, we will.
By the way,
now we have to make a point, right?
Texter figured out the acronym Fiddle Around and Find Out. Absolutely correct. There you go.
We go.
There's our prize winner for today. It's Clay, Guns of the 701. All right, well, we'll listen for you on Monday.
All right, thanks, Todd.
Stay safe this weekend. And keep the snow down on your end of the country, okay?
It looks like it's coming. Yeah, okay.
Keep it. All yours. All yours, buddy. All right, take care. 8:55. Quick few birthdays, and a couple of them are real milestones here. Check this out. Today, Josh Meyer of Flasher is 38. Tomorrow, Andy Metzger of Bismarck will be 38. Priscilla Kessler will be 98 tomorrow. On